On this episode of the House of Wellness, the diet buzzword, protein, goes under the microscope.
Giaan Rooney shows the power of mind over matter.
Wherever your head goes, your body follows.
And the magical mystery of chocolate pancakes that are actually good for you.
So join us and prepare for a great 2019.
Let's all get well, stay well, live well, and look fabulous right here in the House of Wellness. Hello, nice to have you with us. The Wellness Gang's all here with us too, and we're looking back on the best of our stories from 2018. But first, I'm wondering how we all feel about it. Happy or sad to see out the last of the year?
A bit of both.
Really?
Yeah, I had my baby this year.
Oh, no, you did too.
Feels like a lifetime ago. Remember that little thing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was amazing, an amazing year, but also I can see wonderful things in the future, Joe.
Can you? Right in front of your face. I loved 2018, but I always get to this time of year and I just want to get into it.
Oh, next year?
Yes, let me get going into 2019 and make big things happen.
She will not be shackled. What about you?
Enthusiastic. Look, I'm happy to let it go. That was our last journey down the IVF path, so that for me is goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just excited to embrace what I do have and start the new me as a 40-year-old, a mum of one, a wife, a career person. So I'm excited. A little nervous and excited.
Good for you.
Thank you, darling.
The voice of reason. 2019, what does it hold for you?
Thank you, Ed. Look, I think excitement, and it's when you get to the grandparent stage, you get really you just admire the growth and development in children, because often when they're your own, you don't have time to admire.
So
You're too busy
true.
doing things.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what about you?
Well, I mean, we all bank a few bad years along the way on our journey, don't we? 2018 was a goodie, mostly because I was hanging with you guys.
Listen to
A couple
you.
of bad bits, but we won't dwell on them. 2018 was good, 2019, bring it on.
Yeah, okay. Let's forget being happy or sad about 2018. It's
done.
It's gone.
It's done.
Leaving. There'll be people who'll be miserable about 2019 arriving, but only because they've woken up on New Year's Day with a shocking hangover.
Well, of course, you don't need New Year's Day to have a hangover, though. I know you.
I only do it once a year, you know?
And the best way to avoid a hangover is probably to drink in moderation or not at all. But that said, if you do slip up, I have some great hangover cures to help soothe the troubled mind and all that tender tummy. It's not been named the silly season lightly. After 12 months of working for the boss, we all see that yearly finish line, and let's just say we can get a little too thirsty for our own good. Because the Christmas season is wildly accepted as the booziest time of year for Aussie workers, with December 14th expected to be Australia's biggest day of the year for at-work hangovers. So while we at the House of Wellness do not condone excessive drinking, if you're someone who's found themselves suffering after one too many, start taking notes, because the next few minutes might just save you a world of hurt. When you think about it, this is your night out in a blender. A few glasses of wine, some beers or cider, maybe a cheeky tequila chaser, and then possibly you finished the night off with a greasy hamburger. Oh, look at that. No wonder we feel so sick. This is what our bodies are trying to process. But you know, the great thing about hangovers is that they're avoidable. Hangover cures are like jokes. Everyone knows one they like, but not all of them work.
My go-to hangover cure is a Barocca the night before you go to bed.
It's like sober you sending a message through time to drunk you.
Exactly right.
And then there are the edible antidotes.
Nice bowl of yogurt and some orange juice just to level out the stomach.
Kebabs, fries, burgers.
Ask 100 people and you'd probably get 100 personal remedies.
My go-to hangover cure is jumping into the cold, freezing ocean the morning after. I also like to take a hot bath, something relaxing.
Have you ever combined the two? Have you ever taken yourself off to a hot bath without, I got a kebab? Okay, ladies, let's be clear. Eating kebabs while bathing is not to be condoned. One is always more than enough. Now, the anatomy of a hangover starts long before your first drink. So here are a few things to think about before you leave the house. To avoid the punish of the next day, there are some very simple things you can do. 20% of alcohol is absorbed through the stomach. So before you head out, you want to have a beautiful, nutritious meal. High fibre foods like broccoli and asparagus, good fats, and a lovely lean piece of protein. Dr. Sam Hay firmly believes that what you do in the hours before you start drinking pays off in the hours after you pull up.
There's all the things you can do the night before which are going to make a difference. It's getting a good night's sleep, big meal before you start drinking, a glass of water between every drink, then that blood alcohol level will only rise slowly, so it'll have less effect.
Okay, now the night begins, and typically after one standard glass of beer or wine, your behaviour will be normal. Up to 0.03, you're technically still sober.
Alcohol is actually an effective anti-anxiety drug. You know, have one beer and we feel great. It does lower that sense of stress, and that's the main reason why we come home at the end of the day and have a glass of wine.
It feels good.
It does, but it quickly turns into a depressant.
But your body only takes 6 minutes to react to alcohol. So once you've had 2 standard drinks in an hour, you'll be feeling the effects start to snowball. Yes, you'll be talkative and feel confident, but if you were to try your hand at games like Operation or Jenga, your eye-hand coordination and balance are affected.
To start with, we reduce concentration, reduce problem-solving ability, and then issues with our balance, coordination, motor control.
Now, you may be well into your celebrations by now, but even if you've had more than you care to admit, you can still help yourself. There are chemicals called congeners that are only found in dark drinks like red wine and bourbon that's said to contribute to a hangover, so you could stick to clear spirits. Thanks. And of course, we want to stay hydrated and slow down our drinking, so don't forget our trusty friend, the glass of water. Cheers. Okay, so are there any miracle hangover cures?
Look, there are a couple of other myths that they say aren't too bad. They reckon that having sex the next day does help.
Oh, you are so right. I mean, I've heard. So,
discuss.
I don't know about that last suggestion. If you feel well enough to get a little
Randy?
You said it. If that's your bag, go for it. But here are some things that absolutely do not work.
Okay.
Hair of the dog. That is a myth, apparently. Which is
I think you just
disappointing.
get drunker and forget you were hungover.
No, it just delays the hangover to the next day.
Okay.
And also, you can't sweat it out.
Oh, right.
That's a myth too.
Going to keep dehydrating yourself even further,
Exactly,
aren't
it
you?
makes no sense. So do you have any hangover cures, anyone?
Well, it's been many a year. But when in my youth, I used to come home from a late night and drink maybe 8 glasses of water and then go to bed. And I used to wake up fine, but I was in my 20s, so...
Yeah, bulletproof back then.
That's right.
I've got to have eggs, whether it's scrambled, poached, whatever, and try and stay away from my yappy 7-year-old son who does not stop.
See, that's the problem.
The head.
The kid.
You have to push through when you're a parent. You can't lie on the couch anymore. Gerald, what about you and all your years?
What I learned from that story, it's not the alcohol, Joe, it's those congeners. You've got to avoid those. They're the things that actually colour the alcohol. So gin versus brandy.
Gotcha.
They can make things worse. But really, it's all about taking some responsibility. Surely.
Thank you. Okay.
And there's also things available from your local pharmacist as well.
Come see you.
Thank you so much.
like
Okay, lots
hearing
more to
that.
come right here on the House of Wellness Summer Series. When we return, Zoe Bingley-Pullin explores the powers of protein.
And later, is a New Year detox a good idea?
We are charging into 2019 here on the House of Wellness. Welcome back to our review of the top stories in 2018 from the team here at the House of Wellness. To be fair, though, our next piece is more about looking forward than looking back.
Yes, many people treat the new year as the time to get serious about getting fit. I know I
This is
am.
the year.
But all that hard work in the gym or pounding the pavement can be wasted if you're not eating right.
Look, it's so right. So many people, they'll have a great exercise regime, but they won't have the right diet. So that's why I joined forces with the fit pharmacist, Holly Louise, to look at diet and exercise and their relationship.
At last count, there are 3,468 registered gyms or fitness centres in Australia. And as a rule, every single person that walks through their doors is there to achieve one of 3 goals: to lose weight, to build muscle and strength, or to improve their endurance. But to achieve these goals, the kitchen bench is every bit as important as the weight bench. And there's a lot more to matching food with exercise than you may think. With the help of our fit pharmacist, Holly Louise, here's our beginner's guide to making those fitness goals a reality.
If your goal is to lose fat, then the best way to do this is to combine weight training with cardiovascular training in the form of high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. HIIT training involves performing any exercise for a period of about 20 to 30 seconds at an extremely intense level.
Fat-burning foods are foods that are rich in carbohydrates, like what we find in brown rice. Brown rice contains the B vitamin and magnesium, which is so important for carbohydrate metabolisation. And it's really important that we don't discount the good fats when it comes to fat burning. Every single cell in the body has fat in it. What we need is an abundance of good fats, omega-3s, 6s and 9s, more the 3s than anything else. And nuts and seeds are brilliant. Put this all together and what have we got? A delicious, warming, nourishing porridge that everybody will love.
If you're planning on training for endurance, then the most important thing is to choose an exercise that you actually enjoy doing. Start by performing the exercise at an intensity or by getting your heart rate to a level that is comfortable yet challenging for you. And then over time, you want to increase that to about 80% of your maximum heart rate. You want to aim to perform the exercise for about 30 minutes at a time or longer, and then aim for 3 to 4 sessions a week.
And the best types of foods for endurance exercise are the type of foods that are going to give you long-lasting energy. I've got bananas, which are full of potassium, which is an electrolyte, something you really need a lot of because it's all about hydration and blood pressure. Dates, instead of putting sugar or honey, try dates. And if you want to thicken food up and really sustain the energy levels, why not try things like oats or hemp seeds? Blend it all up and I've made a beautiful banana, date, oat and hemp seed smoothie.
If your goal is to build muscle or get stronger, weight training should definitely be the focus of your exercise routine. One of my favourite weighted exercises to do are deadlifts. One of the reasons why I love deadlifts so much is that they pretty much activate all of the major muscle groups of our bodies. And by inducing a muscular contraction, we can actually build the size and strength of our muscles.
Now, when it comes to building muscle mass, the best food group to do that is protein. What we need is complete protein. This is the type of amino acids that your body can't produce, that you have to get from your food. We've got 100 grams of salmon, beef and chicken, and all of them contain about 30 grams of complete protein. So this is the 8 essential amino acids. Now, you can achieve that from vegetarian protein.
And this is where protein powders can come in handy, especially for vegetarians and for those who don't like eating a whole lot of meat. You can add it to smoothies, you can add it to your breakfast oats, and you can also add it to your baking. Whey protein in particular is nutritionally balanced and contains all 9 of the essential amino acids that our bodies can't produce. Add 1 to 2 scoops, 1 for a female, 2 for a male, to 300 mils of water. Shake it up and you're good to go. Now, there are a lot of these on the market, so you need to be careful when it comes to choosing the right protein powder for you. Make sure that you're choosing a product that comes from a reputable company and that has undergone strict testing procedures.
So there you have it. Looking after yourself doesn't stop at exercise. Proper refueling will allow us to have more energy for our next workout and make the most of all the hard work we've done to reach our goals and get more out of life.
And now Holly has joined us in the studio. Now, Holly, what I found interesting about that story is that how important it is to couple the right food with the right type of exercise.
Certainly. So depending on what type of exercise we're doing, we need to be fueling our bodies properly. So if you are going to be weight training, you want to be making sure you're having a good amount of protein and carbohydrates before and after training, because it's not only about fueling yourself for the workout, it's also about recovery too. And again, if you're doing endurance activities, you want to be making sure that you have those long sort of lasting carbohydrates. And with fat loss or fat burning training, again, you want to be fueling yourself properly with enough protein and carbohydrates.
Do you know what? I'm really passionate about this going into the new year. I am going to set myself up to be strong and to be fit.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I am.
You little girl. I believe it.
Thank you. Thank you. My question is, though, you know how when you work out, PTs will go, you've got to eat 30 minutes after training, but then I have to go feed the baby, I've got to do some knickknacks. It's very hard to fuel. Is there easy ways to just fuel
As
yourself?
if you would miss eating something, God love it.
To be honest, what you're talking about is the sort of anabolic window, or that time after your workout where it's essential to get in some sort of fuel.
Yeah.
It's actually been proven to be a myth. So you actually have more time than you think after your workout to get that energy into your body.
This is good news.
So really, it's about a 2-hour window.
Is it?
Oh, I like that window. That's
What
like
about-
a bay window.
That's doable.
That's doable.
What about protein?
Yep.
You've got to have a certain amount of protein. How do we know how much we should be having each day?
So the easiest way to calculate it is your body weight. Now, I know this is a sensitive thing for most
How
females.
much do you weigh? And then we'll work
I can't remember.
So generally, what you want to do is just multiply your body weight in kilos by 2 grams. And that gives you...
Oh,
So
I
you're
eat
50.
so much more than that a day. I
Great advice.
should maybe cut down my protein.
No, you'll be all right. Great advice from our fit pharmacist. By the way, there is a new player in the fitness space. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Quigglator.
I have heard.
A specimen.
I have heard. There's been rumours.
He's an animal.
Yeah, he's on too much protein, I would say. Thank you, Holly. Can you stick around for us a little bit?
Of course.
Inspiring stuff, and we've got plenty more to come after the break. Stay with us here on the House of Wellness. And when we return, Giaan Rooney faces her fears at the fire walking pit.
Firewalking is a metaphor for what you think is impossible.
And later, the do's and don'ts of the detox.
We'll help make a better you in 2019 here on the House of Wellness.
Yeah.
Welcome back. This is our summer series. We're having a look back at your favourite stories from the year. And there's a bit of a New Year's theme going on here, guys. Starting to develop strongly.
Yes, well, I looked at hangover cures for those New Year's sore heads.
I like that one. Holly and I obviously looked at the importance of diet and protein, which most people said they're going to focus on in the new year.
Yes, I am. And later, we're looking at how to detox your system, which is another option so many people go for at this time of year.
Exactly. You know what? Those diets and detox regimes, in fact, all our New Year's resolutions need one specific thing: willpower.
Oh, help me.
Good old mind over matter, and that's what Giaan Rooney went looking for.
Picture this. Until 3 hours ago, the man that's standing face to face with you was a total stranger.
Stand the way it stands, feeling unstoppable, total certainty right now.
And he's about to ask you to walk across a bed of red, hot coals.
Breathe where you breathe now. You could do anything you want in your life.
What would you be thinking about right now?
And I want you to see who you are on the other side. Make that decision right now.
The impossibility of walking on fire?
And here is that moment.
Or of the sheer possibility that you can do anything you put your mind to?
Yes, open those eyes. Yes, yes, yes!
Well, right now I am well and truly outside of my comfort zone. But before I show you what transpired, there's a few things I think we need to talk about.
In my career as an Olympic swimmer, I faced adversities. I certainly faced my fair share of pressures. But to perform at my peak, I had to learn to overcome my biggest fear, which for me was fear of failure. I have never had to do anything like this, however, walk on fire. And they say it's just mind over matter, but is the mind really that powerful? Well, today, I guess I'm gonna find out.
We hear the words, "it's all in the mind," or "focus the mind and you'll be unstoppable," all the time. Our brain is a powerful thing. It contains billions of nerve cells arranged in patterns that coordinate thought, emotion, movement, and sensation. Learning about the connection our mind has over our physical matter, or our bodies, starts when we are young. Kids today are being bombarded by all kinds of school pressures, peer pressures, and social media body image issues. And that's why Jessica McElvey, a social worker and founder of Kids Yoga Therapy, believes the younger we can start working with kids to relax their minds, the better they will cope in adult life with things like job interviews or relationships.
What we want for the children to understand from a young age is that the one thing we can control is our mind, and they have the power to do this, and which means they have the power to perceive the world and the challenges in a way that will benefit them and serve them and not cause additional stress and anxiety for them.
She believes that the younger we start working with kids to relax their minds through yoga and meditation, the better we are at setting them up for the future.
So this is generally before the age of 7. So if we can tap into that age bracket, then we're really able to guide them to see a less worried person.
So you'd have to think that if we can teach our children at a young age to calm their minds, that is only going to help them through the rest of their lives. But what about if we're a little bit older? Is it ever too late to overcome those fears that might be holding us back?
Kurek Ashley is a leading expert in the world of self-development.
To get your goals in life, you need to stay focused on your goal.
He survived his own tragedy, a helicopter accident that killed 5 of his friends. And a few times every year, he runs a 4-day self-discovery workshop on the Gold Coast, where he will literally have you walking on fire to find out what you are capable of.
The term mind over matter. What does that mean to you?
Oh, wherever your head goes, your body follows. And it's about how we communicate with ourselves and then how we communicate with others. But you won't communicate differently with others until you communicate differently with yourself.
So how does firewalking come into it?
Well, firewalking is a metaphor for what you think is impossible. You got 600-degree searing hot coals in front of you. Your brain says, that's impossible, I'm gonna get hurt. You make that decision, you take that first step. That once you do it, you get to the other side, you say, now wait a minute, if that's not impossible, what else have I been telling myself is impossible that's been holding me back from everything I want in life?
So in your mind, is anything possible?
No, not anything, everything.
And on that note, can't put it off any longer. Let's get this fire started.
Let's go, firewalk!
Okay.
And so we are back to where we came in.
Breathe where you breathe, knowing you could do anything you want in your life, and here's that moment right now.
I have literally known Kurek for 3 hours.
And I want you to see who you are on the other side. Make that decision right now.
But as he stokes my sense of self-belief, I'm actually beginning to feel a few things that I truly wasn't expecting.
And here we go. I want you to do yes, yes. Open those eyes. Yes, yes, yes. Go. Eyes up, eyes up, eyes up, eyes up, eyes up, eyes up.
Stop! Wipe your feet! Celebrate! Cheery. Thank you.
Emotional. I really wasn't expecting to be emotional. It was a really powerful, overwhelming feeling. But going through the process also made me realise that there's things I'd like to be better at, or things that are maybe holding me back that I hadn't even realised. And so all of a sudden, I had a very real goal to get out of this, where I didn't have that coming into it. So all of a sudden, it was like, well, if I'm going to do this process, let's get something out of it.
You know what I love? That one of our toughest athletes, world champion, gold medalist Giaan Rooney, looked really challenged doing that too, so that was interesting. We have fit pharmacist Holly still here with us too. As a personal trainer, you've got to get into the heads of your clients as well. You're part psychologist also.
Most of my clients, I end up being their counsellor. But they essentially come to me because they need guidance. They can't push themselves, or they don't believe in themselves. So they're really looking for someone who can help them, you know, gain that self-belief that they need and push them to actually achieve their goals.
And to overcome the fear. Because I think a lot of people are frightened of failure when they face exercise. That's why they don't even start. For myself, I tell you something, I'm terrified of heights. Right, and I need help overcoming this. It really has affected my life to the point where once I was in a cable car going up to the top of a mountain in the French Alps, so it was like super fancy, and I had a panic attack and I ended up face first on the floor of the cable car, just like this, going, we're going to die. And you should have seen all the French people just going,
You just need some hot coals, love. Get back
I'd be so much happier walking on hot coals.
Oh, my goodness. I want to hear more about this. Don't
Oh, no,
trouble
that's
with you.
it.
Okay.
Oh, that was good. It ended well.
Don't go anywhere.
Well,
Molly.
I got
Thank
to
you
the
so
top.
much for being with us as well. It is the House of Wellness Summer Edition. We've got more coming after the break. Sadly, no further cable car stories.
Not for me.
It will be good telling you. See you after the break.
When we return, the decision to detox, what you need to know.
And later, if your New Year's resolution is to find healthy chocolate pancakes, look no further.
If you have a healthy hunger, the House of Wellness is the right place to be. Welcome back. Well, some of the biggest reactions we've had this year have been to stories looking at detoxing. And we know some of you are probably considering that as a good way to kick off your new year in a healthy fashion.
Yeah, so before you dive in to the detox world, we thought we'd bring back our favourite dietitian and nutritionist, Susie Burrell, to help ensure you're detoxing right and doing the right detox. Welcome,
Hi,
Susie.
Sue.
Hi.
It seems like it's this time of year that everyone is going in and wanting to do a detox.
Yep.
Indeed, it is, absolutely. It's detox or diet season, as we call it. And there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it. So technically the body doesn't need to be detoxed. It's very sufficient. The liver and the kidneys are doing it itself. But when it comes to actually buying products, you know, buying things that you're not eating any solid food for long periods of time and adding all unusual herbs and spices is really not a healthy way of doing it. The right way to do is, of course, just to eat fresh, healthy food for a period of time, which gives your metabolism a nice reboot without doing any damage to the body.
And you're less likely to fail that way, surely, I imagine. Susie, you helped 2 of our viewers on their own detox paths this year. First up was Frank, and it was a general detox. So tell us about Frank before we see his detox diary.
Well, Frank had very common habits, you know, up at the crack of dawn, buckets of coffee, fast food on the way to work, sausage rolls, pastry, and he responded really well to a very basic healthy food detox.
So really, Frank needed your help, didn't he, in a big way? And we had him record his detox diary. Let's take a look at that right now.
I haven't done this for a while actually, but I normally weigh probably around 79, 80. My goodness, I weigh 84, 85 kilos almost. I've actually put on weight. Must have been the McDonald's that I had last night. Okay, this is my breakfast for the first day. Cheers. At the moment, my brain is saying, Frank, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing, mate? We carnivorous. We're not vegetarian. Good morning, everybody. This is Frank. This morning I'm feeling a little bit tired. I'm feeling very drained, actually. I was warned about this, going through all the emotions at the moment. I haven't actually gone to the bathroom as yet. Yeah, I've been having all these fluids, and you think, you know, the bathroom would be the first place that you're drawn to. Plenty of soup. Whatever that is, Susie, beautiful. What I want to do is actually weigh myself. No, 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 no way. Your husband lost 7 kilos. I'm having fish tonight with vegetables. I feel a lot better. I feel empowered. I feel more energy. I've got clarity at the moment. It's just unbelievable. So I think it's just a matter of having good habits, and this way we can live longer. So why not do it?
I loved his surprise. And that's an amazing result. 7 kilos in a week, a kilo a day.
He didn't look happy about it, but the scales had... At the end of the day, the scales showed the results. So the body responded really well just to a period of really healthy eating.
Yeah.
So simple. I tell you, I was really fascinated, Susie, in the second detox that you did with one of our beautiful viewers, because this is a huge issue that the whole of society faces. It's sugar. And a sugar detox was undertaken by a brave volunteer by the name of Sandra. Tell us about her.
Well, she had a particularly bad diet. She was snacking on chocolate bars through the day, buckets of soft drink. You know, we hear about it in theory as a dietitian, but we really saw what goes on to contribute. I think I calculated she was having more than 100 grams, more than 20 teaspoons of sugar every single day, and it's actually recommended we have less than 4. Wow. So she really drove the sugar intake to an extreme.
Yeah, so Sandra was really someone that needed to take a break from sugar. Let's see how she went.
Wow. That's disgusting.
These buckets contain around 91 kilograms of sugar that Sandra eats every year. And we're going to help her.
So I've started my day off with breakfast. The oats went well. I tried that out with water. This headache is just out of control. Just got really bad cravings right now, so having a little bit of soup before dinner. It's my detox soup. Just sitting at my desk at work today, really wanting to go to the vending machine and get a chocolate and anything else that will just give me that craving I'm dying for. It's day 7, my final day on the sugar detox diet. My skin feels fantastic. I feel great. I feel so full of energy, and I couldn't be happier with the result.
Gosh, another success story here on the House of Wellness.
So great. Sandra has stuck to her sugar detox guidelines, and she sent this little Cheerio.
Hi, my name's Sandra, and I completed a sugar detox for House of Wellness a few weeks back. Happy to say I've kicked my Red Bull habit. I had one the other day and I didn't even like it, to be honest. It made me feel sick. I kept off the weight and I don't even feel the need to snack or have desserts anymore, and it's honestly all thanks to House of Wellness. Thank you so much. Looking forward to keeping up these good habits.
I'm so happy to see that, but it also shows that a detox is doable. What's happening to our bodies when we detox?
Well, you go through a withdrawal phase initially from the stimulants, so things like the caffeine and the high-fat food and, of course, the sugar. But then after 2 or 3 days, the body's really good at readjusting. But the secret is to form a really good baseline with your food, because when you're getting enough protein, when you're getting enough good fat, when you're getting plenty of vitamins and minerals from a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables, you're less likely to experience those cravings that can, of course, set off the bad habits again.
Because we see the benefits with the weight loss. What other benefits are there apart from the physical?
Well, long term, of course, it means that you've got a reduced risk of developing diabetes, and long term you're controlling your appetite and you're not craving those foods. So you're setting your diet as a baseline that's a much healthier platform for your life, and just keeping your weight under control is a big thing in modern life when it's so easy to gain a few kilos, particularly when you're consuming a lot of high sugar foods.
I'll never forget her face when she pulled the blanket off with the 90 kilograms of sugar.
Yes.
But just imagine what Australia as a nation could do with some simple messages from that story.
Absolutely. Great info. Thanks, Susie. And, of course, it's driven a lot of traffic to our website to check out the detoxes that you prescribe for both Frank and Sandra there. So head to houseofwellness.com.au. All right, we'll take a little break. More to come right after this here on the House of Wellness. Welcome back. This is the House of Wellness. Now, we've been looking back at our top stories of the year. Some have been controversial. Some have been a bit out there. I'm not looking at you. But through it all...
I'm just sitting here.
I know, been very good. Through it all, though, Nutritious to Delicious has been a beacon of consistency. Thanks to you, Zoe. And we're just wondering how you come up with these great healthy ideas week after week.
Well, obviously what I want to do is I want to have recipes that people can put on the plate and enjoy. I want lots of vitality and lots of good nutrition. So it's about replicating something that is tasty and healthy.
You know, there have been so many great recipes, but the one that got me really excited was the Nutritious to Delicious dish that combined the words healthy, chocolate and pancake all in one recipe.
Today's weekend treat has all the goodness of a school day, with a chocolate-flavoured power pack guaranteed to get you moving. And the recipe is so simple. Mix dates with LSA and oats, then pour in the smoothie mix and combine with peanut butter and add water until all the liquids are absorbed. Melt a teaspoon of coconut oil and gently fry the pancakes until the edges are crispy, then finish with a sprinkle of dark chocolate.
I mean, how does she do it? It's magic. It's one of my all-time favourites, the healthy chocolate pancakes.
Yes, and I would think a lot of people assume that healthy means boring and a bit sad. But not always the case.
Oh, look, I think we're getting more and more educated about healthy food, being so delicious, and it's all about being creative. Who doesn't like chocolate? Who doesn't like pancake? And it's even better if it's healthier for you.
Yep. Yummo. All right, now, if you'd like more on the healthy chocolate pancakes or any of Zoe's other amazing recipes, just head to our website. It's there 24/7 for you. houseofwellness.com.au. OK, Gerald, we have you enlisted here for our A to Z of vitamins. I know I'm going to be amongst many doing a lot of eating during the festive season. Our digestion might be good at other times, but I'm fairly sure by giving it a workout, mine might feel a little bit perhaps bloated or sluggish. Is there something we can do to help that sort of suffering?
And how often and how many stories have we done this season about digestion and the ability to digest food properly? So today we're going to talk about apples, but specifically apple cider vinegar.
I love apple cider vinegar.
So I have had apple cider vinegar as a shot. I've heard that that isn't particularly the right way to take it. Can you tell me how often and how we should be taking it?
It should be diluted, Zoe, because it's acid. So dilute it. Some people flavour it with some honey or some lemon juice. But the important thing with apple cider vinegar is to get the one that is cloudy. Get the one with what's called the mother, which is the specific culture to help the fermentation process. So if it's clear and filtered, it doesn't have the potency.
And how often?
Often as you want.
Every day?
Yes.
And how long before it really starts to take effect?
Very quickly, so within a few days.
All righty. Thank you so much for that. The A to Z of vitamins brought to us by Barnes Naturals. Taking apple cider vinegar is now so much easier and tastier, like we said, with Barnes Naturals, the #1 apple cider vinegar brand in Chemist Warehouse. Stay with us, everyone. We're going to be back with more on the House of Wellness, the summer series, right after this.
Tash is passionate, intelligent, empathic, and she's a fighter. That's what she is. She's a fighter. Tash was a few months shy of her 4th birthday, and she was helping Mum cook, as she's always loved to do, and she leaned a little bit too close to the flame and kind of caught a light and ended up with 3rd-degree burns to about nearly 60% of her body, all of which needed to be grafted.
I do think I'm brave because of all the things that I've been through, but then I also think that sometimes I'm not brave and you can be afraid. It's okay, but just remember that no matter what, you'll be okay. I love dancing and hanging out with my friends because, like, I find that socialising with other people makes me forget about all the things that I'm worried about, and I can just focus on having fun.
She shines when she's on stage. You can kind of see her. She's really kind of sparkles when she's up there, and it's actually really emotional to watch. I always shed a tear when I watch her on the stage because I think, wow, where she's been and where she's got to is really amazing.
I feel like saying things and doing things in front of people can show them who you are and what you're made of and all the things that you can do as a person. I'm not very shy, I must say. So the Kids Foundation is an organisation to raise awareness for burns and other severe injuries, and that all people with those kind of things can come together and they can do things that they know that they can do, and we can talk to each other about the things that we've been through.
We went to our first camp and it was very, very confronting, very challenging. I think I cried probably for the first 2 days, meeting other parents and listening to their stories and just hearing the heartache and knowing the heartache.
A lot of people they get bullied for it and they get made fun on and things like that, and we can kind of talk about that and we can make each other feel better about things. No matter what happens, you can do whatever you want, and you just have to put confidence and put your mind to it, and you can really do anything, no matter what.
Oh, what a beautiful girl.
Isn't she? Amazing spirit there in Tash Hanson. And she had a huge 2018 with her dancing. She sent us this update.
Hi House of Wellness, it's Tash here. Since our last chat, I've had a lot going on. Probably the most fun experience of this year was going to Disneyland with all of my friends. This year at school, I was also cast in the main role of Tinkerbell in our school musical, Peter Pan. This was amazing fun, and I got to learn how to be a real-life junior actor. This year, we also celebrated the 25th anniversary of the King's Foundation in Ballarat. It was amazing to see all of our old friends and have dinner together. Bye!
Jo and Zoe, you have daughters. I love when she goes, I'm not very shy, am I? She's sweet.
Yeah, the honesty was gorgeous. It really was.
Now, if the achievements of Tash don't inspire you to do something special with your next 12 months, I don't know what will. But what are we all promising to do with our New Year's resolutions? Can I have in 5 words or fewer, perhaps?
Look, I think a little bit of family forgiveness is probably a good thing. Is that
5 or
fewer? Sorry,
Well,
tell us
more.
It's a great resolution, though. Yes. For me, more meditation.
Good.
2 words.
Fitspo and rest.
Wow. For me, more time with my Philippa.
Oh,
you are so cute.
I know. And you guys
I
get a
need
lot
to
of time
keep
together
trying.
already. Okay, and Ed?
Learn the flute.
Oh, come on. You don't know how to play that yet?
Not yet. It's about 4 or 5 holes. How hard could it be? All right, we've got to get out of here, guys. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back again next week with more and to help kick off 2019 as well. Thanks to everybody for watching, and also a special thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse as well. We'll see you for more 2018 highlights in the next edition of the House of Wellness. Have a happy and well week. Till then.
Bye.